Welcome back to Let's Talk About It with Rena. I am your host, Rena, and this week's topic is child support. What should it cover? First and foremost, I want to state that child support is additional funds given from a parent that is not in the home with the child. First and foremost, these are funds that would be spent on the child regardless to if they were physically in the home with this parent or not. So it's not a gift to the parent that is taking care of the child in the home. It's not anything that should be considered a come up, quote unquote, to the parent that has the child in the home. Is to provide care for the child, which the parent who's not in the home would have been doing had they been in the home anyway. So, child support extends far beyond just buying the child food, buying the child shoes, buying the child clothes. Far often I hear, and I'm going to say men, because I don't really hear women speak too much about child support, whether they are in the home with their child or they are not in the home with their child and they're financially assisting someone taking care of their child. I really don't hear too many women speak whether they are for it or against it when they are personally paying out of their pockets for child support. So I am kind of saying men, however, it's no rule that it's only men. But I far often hear men say, my money is not to pay her rent. My money should not be paying her lights and gas. My money should not be paying to put gas in her car. When in our reality, if your child requires a room in that house where she pays rent, a portion of that rent is your obligation. If your child requires lights, a portion of those lights, the cost of it, is your obligation. So, what should it be used for is for the support of the child. If I did not have children and could get a one-bedroom apartment for $500, but however, had to get a two-bedroom apartment for $700, that additional $200 that I pay for my rent, half of that is the responsibility of the parent that's outside of the home. Why? Because our child incurred an extra fee on me as a parent. So we as parents split that fee, which would be the same if we both were in the same home. We both would be responsible for providing shelter, for providing food, for providing lights, gas, for providing gas in the car to physically get the child to and from school, baseball, basketball, cheer practice, all the things that we do, whether we are a single parent in the home or a two-parent home. These are all obligations we hold as parents, regardless to the living arrangements. So let's throw out the fact that this home is her home or his home and his responsibility, the additional fees that's occurred in that home, especially when the child is in that home 95% of the time, is a fee that's incurred by both parents. So, to answer the question, child support should cover the support of the child. What's the support of the child? It's not just shoes. It's not just food. It's not just clothes. Kids require school supplies. Kids require rent. Kids require lights and gas. Kids require gas for the car. Kids require so much more than shoes, food, and clothes. So, to answer the question, in a fair way to any parent that's outside of the home. Anything that child needs to support their growth, to support them to live, is where the money should go. Now, because it's not a dollar that's tagged and this is the child support money, yes, mom might pay the rent fully out of her check, and when she gets the child support money, go and do personal things with that specific money. However, hasn't she already paid the full rent? So you're reimbursing her additional money that she's paid for the rent when she get the money from you. So whatever she needs to do on a personal level, she may use the child support money, quote unquote, towards that. But it does not mean she's using the money for a personal expense. It just simply means she's replenishing what she's already paid out. Now she's fulfilling her needs. So unless you are willing, as the parent outside the home, to provide funds when the rent is due, to provide funds when the lights are due, to provide funds at each additional times that there's money due, you cannot argue the fact that she's using your money for personal needs. If she decides she wants to buy an outfit for herself, she's covered all the bills out of personal money. When she get that additional child support money, she has the right to buy herself an outfit. Why? Because she's already covered your portion. She's just replenishing when you provide your portion. It's not saying that she's using your money for her personal needs, her personal come up. Now, I know this topic is going to fuel a whole lot of people. There's going to be a whole lot of controversy. However, the facts remain. These are things we would do whether we were in the home or not. If you, as the parent that's outside of the home, has a smaller apartment, then you're not going to pay the additional that the person with the child inside the home is going to pay. Yes, you might decide, well, my child is with me 2 weekends out of the month, so I am going to get a bigger place so there will be room, but you still are not experiencing the extra funds for lights and gas because they're only there twice out of the month. Additional cost for food. There is additional cost, but it's not what the in-home parent has to occur. So, of course, there may not be a full split of what the in-home parent is paying for these additional costs. The in-home parent always ends up paying more for the support of the child. However, what they pay additional is actually saying what you have to pay additional for having that additional room for when the child is with you, for the extra food you do have to purchase for when the child is with you. So that's the smaller portion, that the extra funds that the in-home parent is paying, why it's not cut in a complete half. Literally, if we broke it down, like I said, looking at the rent, if my 1-bedroom apartment is $500, but because I have an additional room for our child, it's now $200. And that $200 should be split down the middle. 9 times out of 10, if you break down what the out-the-home parent is paying for child support, it will not cover that full $100 that parent is responsible for. And in all honesty, it's still fair, because even though the child is not in the home with that parent is still obligated to have a room for that child. However, the cost for that additional in the home that the child doesn't stay is not as great as the cost of the home where the child does stay. So again, child support is not only used for clothes, food, and shoes. It is used for the support of the child. And if both parents are being fair to the child and doing things fairly, just because the in-home parent with the child uses the physical money that the out-home parent provides to him or her, it does not mean that they are using the child support money for personal use. It just simply means they're replenishing the money that has already been spent on the support of the child. I do hope I've answered the question in a fair but honest way. Please chime in and give your thoughts and your opinion. I would love to have you in my open discussion on my Facebook page, Darina White. Please feel free to send me a friend's request. I am accepting all friends' requests, along with the open discussion being open to everyone to chime in. I do not have a bias, or I do not ask that you have a certain opinion to chime in. Whatever your opinion is, we will address and discuss. And we also are grown enough to agree to disagree on these topics. And it hopefully helps somebody in whatever question they may have. Again, my name is Darina. Thanks for listening. I look forward to you chiming in on this discussion and also sending me a topic to discuss. Thanks again. I look forward to hearing from you.